Greetings, Wilkinson here. Today my guest is Amine Raif, and we met, about a year ago at a estate sale / house sale I was having, getting rid of stuff, right?
Exactly, and I got a few of those stuff.
Cool. Okay, so tell my people hi.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in.
Great. So let's just dig in. When we always have the little bit of conversation before I sit down with my guest recording, and I say my main goal on these podcasts is to reach gay guys or LGBT people in small areas or parts of the world that they don't have a lot of friends, they don't have real gay experiences, and so hearing people's stories help others, and it actually heals them.
Exactly.
I've gotten emails and I've gotten letters from people, so that's the goal here. And we were both gay. Shocker.
Although that's up for debates for me, because, a lot of people would say I am not, but
well, you're sitting there right now, you don't, except that you have a T-shirt on with a bear on it that says "Bear Naked." That is a giveaway.
That is definitely a giveaway.
But other than that, okay. So let's just hear your story. So dig in wherever you want. Tell where you're from.
Well, I was born in Casablanca, Morocco, in 1977, and moved to the U.S. in 1999. Fun facts about me that most people don't know is that ethnically I am Jewish, but I grew up Muslim, so
whoa,
here's that. See, that reaction is what I usually get.
Huh. So you got a little bit of all worlds, huh?
Yeah, it's a weird story, but it's just has lots of challenges and weird aspect to it. But yeah, that's a fun fact about me.
How long have you been in Palm Springs?
I've been in Palm Springs for 11 years, and I absolutely love it.
Okay, we'll get to that later. Let's zip back in time to your childhood.
Oh yeah,
were you gay out of the chute or what?
Oh, dear God. I'm one of those people that, as far as I can remember, I've always known that there was something slightly different about me, and I just knew that I was attracted to men. Not only that, I was attracted to much older men. I'm talking 7-year-old having a huge crush on my teacher. This guy was just so handsome, and he always wore beautiful, nice suits, and even as a 7-year-old kid, I just was fascinated by him. He looked so handsome in suits. Oh my God, I was obsessed with his butt. I just could not stop staring at his butt. He just was that mature, plump. Middle Easterns in general have nice butts, but his in that suit looked amazing.
Wow.
So yeah, even as 7-year-old, I had that fascination, and it never went away.
So you were a dirty old man when you were 7.
I was a
dirty young man.
I call myself, and I'm kind of toying about the idea of writing a book about it. I call myself the child predator. And I know that word is a heavy word, but that's exactly how I lived most of my life as a kid in Morocco. It gets a little dark.
Are there any other stories you can tell us about which is appropriate for YouTube and my other channels?
Well,
like what are you talking about? Like what?
Well, as a kid growing up in Morocco and being sexual at a very early age, I started, what's the acceptable word? Touching myself at 6 years old, and found it very pleasurable. So in Morocco, especially back then, people didn't have showers at home, and they were these hammams or public bathhouses.
Really?
Oh yeah, they still exist, but they're not as popular. And basically, you go with your brothers or dad, and they're separated by gender, and you go twice a week and you bathe in these hammams. And of course, everyone there is in their swimsuits or underwear, because nudity is a no-no.
Oh, they weren't naked?
Oh, absolutely not. It's a Muslim country, and nudity is not acceptable anywhere. So you're either in a bathing suit or your underwear.
So the trick is to wear bathing suits or underwear that is see-through when you're get them wet, right?
You get a bunch of men in a steamy, wet environment, and things would happen. So as a kid, I was always telling my parents that I was old enough to go by myself.
And you're like 8, right?
Oh, this is like between the age of 8 and 14.
And did they let you?
Not at first, but I was always a very mature, independent kid, and that's true in general. So after a while, they would let me go by myself.
So they were clueless why you really wanted to.
Nobody could have imagined, because I was a really good kid. I excelled at school. I followed the rules, as far as everyone knows.
Of course you excelled at school because you wanted to be the teacher's pet.
Oh, my God.
The guy in the suit.
Yes.
Come on.
So I would go to the hammam by myself, and I learned that if you go during certain times, it would be less crowded. Obviously, not at nights, not on the weekends. So I would go on a Tuesday or Thursday mornings. And this is going to get a little dark and twisted. I would always sit down and scan the room. And I would always go for someone who is by themselves. 30 years old or older. Keep in mind, I'm 8 to 14 at the most. In the hammam, there is a ritual. You start with certain things. You wash certain parts of your bodies 3 times in a row. There's a method to it. And it is absolutely accepted to approach a stranger and to tell them that you would literally scrub their back and then they would scrub yours in return. So I would sit there like the twisted predator that I was, and I would target someone and I would approach them with the nicest innocent smile, and I say, would you like me to scrub your back? And you would scrub mine. And the answer is usually yes, because it's normal. So here I am, and I have a cast, which is this thing that you wear to scrub that skin.
Right.
And I would start scrubbing their back, and my hand would just slide and touch their butts, and then I would say, "Oh, I'm sorry," and then I would see how they react. If they flinch, if they were okay with it, then depending on that,
you'd keep having oopsies.
Depending on that reaction, I keep having oopsies, and then I keep sliding and touching, and then I would slide between the skin and the underwear. And
really,
oh yeah, and then I know that it's okay to do more. And the thing about a hammam is it's always 3 rooms. The first room is kind of cool. The middle room is a little bit warm. The third room is a steam room. You really can't see 6 feet in front of you. So once it's established that we both don't mind touching each other in those specific parts of the body, then we would go to the third room and fool around, and you'll be surprised how many times that worked. I would say 95% of the time it worked.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's kind of how I got my perverted fix at a very early age in Morocco.
Now, is it illegal to be gay there?
Absolutely, it's illegal. It's against the religion. It's against the culture. Although in a weird way, you're only gay in Morocco if you are a bottom or if you give a blowjob.
Okay.
Anything else is considered macho. Like, for instance, I would go to my friend and I would boast about the fact that I, as a top, had sex with another man. It's almost as if...
So it's like a domination.
Yeah, it's almost like you're even more of a man if you act on it. You're only less of a man if you get acted upon.
There are different communities, I think, where that's true. They're on the down low.
Yeah.
And they have that
Yeah.
mental attitude.
Yeah.
So that brought you to, so we're up to age 14. Then what happened?
While I am going through all of this, there is this huge conflict in my life because I grew up really devout Muslim and I was really, really religious. So I have this deviant side of me that's just out of control. And then I have the other side who really wants to stop all of this and change. So, I would go to the mosque and I would pray and all of that. And then I can't stop myself from doing everything that I'm doing. And
this is true. I think that's true with a lot of like religious upbringings where you're stuffing stuff down.
Yeah, different story, same story, different zip codes. So this is going to get a little dark. Are you ready for this?
Okay.
There's a rule, just like in Christianity, if you, what's the word? If you unalive yourself, you go to hell. There's no...
If you what yourself?
Unalive.
Oh, analyze. Analyze.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to say commit the S word because that's a heavy word. So is it okay if I use the word unalive?
I don't know what you mean by that, though. It could have different meanings.
Well, it's suicide.
Oh, suicide. Oh, no, you can say that. That's
okay.
Fine. This is Suicide Prevention and Awareness Month right now. We're in it. We're in it. I went to a play yesterday where my friend Stan Zimmerman did a play, and it was extremely moving, but it was about suicide. And actually, in that play, they brought up a lot of LGBT and trans, gay and trans, especially, people that commit suicide or try it. The numbers are astounding on it.
Oh,
so, yeah, we can talk. Yeah, and I'll probably put a link. Usually I've had people talk about suicide before, but I usually will put a link to some helplines in the notes.
That's commendable. So
you were contemplating suicide?
Oh, I tried many times.
Seriously?
Yeah. So the thing in Islam, just like Christianity, if you kill yourself, you go straight to hell. But in Islam, you're not considered an adult until you reach the age of 15, 16. So anything that happens before that age doesn't really matter. If you die before you reach that age, then you go straight to heaven. But if you reach the age of 15, 16, then you do things as immoral as being gay.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
So you're thinking to yourself, if I do it before then, I'm cool.
Exactly. Wow. So I was determined to basically kill myself before I reached that age. And I'm grateful my attempts didn't work because they were kind of immature and silly. But yeah, I really, really tried multiple times to end my life before I reached that age where I am going to become a sinner, because I knew I couldn't help who I was and what I liked to do. So
So you said to yourself, I am a sinner, but I get a free pass.
I get a free pass as long as I don't reach the age of 15.
Wow. Wow.
Religion is such a fascinating subject.
Wow. Well, I'm happy you were unsuccessful.
Nah, I am too.
We cheer your failures.
I'm telling you, and I'm telling everyone who's listening, it really, really gets better.
Well, when I was married, I was a couple hours from doing it.
Oh, I'm glad you did.
Because I was so trapped in the religious bullshit, and there was really, I believed there was no way out.
Yeah.
Because it was so strict when what I was involved in. You couldn't get a divorce. And as it turned out, I realized if there is a God, he doesn't want me to do this. My ideas of God have changed since then. But so I didn't do it. And then eventually I got divorced. And sure enough, after being in the ministry, I got basically the boot, not officially, but unofficially. Yeah.
Well, here's a funny story for you.
Okay.
And this is something we could use a lot. Here's the funny story for you. And this is the story about how Madonna, of all people, and please don't kill me, guys, I'm not really a fan of her music, but she literally saved my life. So in a country where there is only one channel, heavily censored and controlled by the government, where not even kissing is allowed, like, yeah, heavily censored. We would get things on VHS cassettes. I'm talking about porn, martial arts movies. Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan were big in Morocco, stuff like that.
But they were all banned? You weren't supposed to watch
Yeah,
that?
because there's a lot of violence and nudity and, So, a friend of mine got a VHS cassette of Madonna's Vogue, and he invited all of his friends, me included, to go to his place and watch it because you see her boobs, and that's all they wanted to see. What I saw, keep in mind, I have no idea what gay is. I have no reference. There is nothing in the culture that refers to being gay. I really thought I was the only one, and there was something deeply wrong with me. So here I am watching Vogue for the first time, and all of my friends are obsessed about Madonna, but I'm looking at the backup dancers who not only are clearly gay, but they are gorgeous and they are unapologetically gay. They are in-your-face gay and proud.
So they didn't say they were gays, but you knew.
I knew they were gay.
You knew they had the same affliction as you.
They were so, and the word is fierce, in your face.
Right.
And there was no shame. And that really was something that changed me in a way that I literally saved my life, because I just saw them as something that I could become, someone who is not ashamed.
Did you think you were alone in what you were feeling?
Absolutely.
Okay. Because that's a common theme.
Yeah, I have never met someone else like me that I knew of. I'm sure there was many. There was no reference in TV of homosexuality. I mean, all I knew is the scripture and how it was wrong, it was immoral, we were, bound to go to hell. So that's how Madonna saved my life, thanks to that video of Vogue.
Well, thank you, gay dancers.
Oh, my God. Thank you, gay dancers.
So when you saw that, I'm curious, did you think I can be that here, or did you realize you couldn't? Or did it plant the seed for you going elsewhere, like coming to the U.S. or something?
Words on it, but the first thing was, oh, thank God I'm not the only one. There are others out there that are obviously like me. So just feeling and knowing that there were others like me was life-saving. And it was also that glimmer of hope that if they can be that fierce and that out on a, they were dancers for Madonna, who's a superstar, then I can do something with my life that will amount to something, because I saw them as, fucking angels. Oops, sorry, I swore. That's fine.
No, we're past 5 minutes. You can swear.
So, yeah, they gave me hope that there are others out there like me, and that was life-changing.
And you were how old at that point? You said 16, 17, somewhere in there?
I was 15.
15.
I believe.
Okay. And you said you came to the U.S. when you were 19?
I was 20. It was
20.
1999.
And so how did that evolve? How'd you come to that place where you wanted to come here?
I have always felt that somebody was playing a practical joke on me being born where I was born, being born with my family. And I love my family. I just never felt like I understood any of them, or that I belonged with any of them. So,
or that they understood you.
Oh, I mean, no, we're talking just like completely different universes.
And you come from a large family, I think you mentioned.
I'm the 10th child of 11. So, yeah, my mom was pregnant at 13, gave birth at 14.
So they didn't have a big screen TV, huh?
Excuse me, what's that? No.
Wow.
We grew up poor, and I mean poor by Moroccan standards, not poor by American standards.
So how many kids were in a room? like all
Oh,
over.
well, yeah, they were like the girls in one room and all the kids in another. There wasn't really rooms. It was just like stacked like sardines. So I just was looking for an out. I wanted to leave Morocco, and the first opportunity I got to come to the U.S., it could have been anywhere else. It could have been, I don't know.
Just get me out of here.
Just get me out of here. And I jumped on it and never.
But what were the circumstances of you being able to leave?
So back then, I was in my second year of college. And at the same time, because I was such an overachiever, I was going to culinary college and I was studying culinary arts and tourism management. And this organization came and they were looking for people who are looking to do internships in the U.S. And they would only take 2 per school. So it was going to be definitely me because I had to. So it was me and another guy, and I just jumped on the opportunity to do it.
Were there a bunch that wanted to do it, or
everybody?
So you beat them.
Well,
you were the chosen one. Let's put it.
Thanks to my 7-year-old teacher, I have always excelled at school and studies because I wanted to impress him and be, teacher's pet. So that literally laid the foundation for me. And I was always an overachiever and I was always good at school. So, I just, got that chance and jumped on it. Yeah.
So what town did you go to when you came here?
My first stop was Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
I'm sorry. Or was that good or bad? I don't know.
It was a shock because the idea I had of the U.S. in my mind was what I saw.
Wait. You mean there's no gay dancers there?
Well, I thought I spoke basic English, but Southern accent was completely different thing. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Don't regret a thing. That got me.
So was that the culinary school there?
Yes, it was called the American.
And how long did you have to stay there before you escaped?
It was a year program, which I did and loved it.
Were there other gay students you met, or no?
Not that I know of. I definitely came out. It was the first thing I did, and it was a big shock because there were students from all over the world, and there were other Moroccans and Egyptians and Turkish and blah, blah, blah. But I was just like, I'm here, God darn it, I'm going to come out and be gay. So I did.
Okay, but wait, let's stop a second.
Yeah.
So you've got other people from your part of the world.
Mm-hmm.
So at that point, were you planning on staying in the U.S., or did you fear going back there once you came out?
Yeah, I was determined that I'm going to do whatever I could to stay. However, my visa was only for a year. So my plan back there was to live the gay life because I was convinced that I would go back to Morocco and do what everyone else does, which is get married and have kids. So that was my opportunity for that 1 year to live the life that I never thought I would live. So, yeah.
That is so sad.
Yeah. Wow. And typical of people from my culture, once they knew that I was gay, obviously, and I mean, 90% of them wanted to have sex with me as long as I don't tell on them. So.
Serious?
Oh my God, yes. Oh, yes. Yeah, I had no interest because they were all my age, shocker. But it was just like so typical. I just...
Now that shocked me because I thought you were going to say they shunned me because they didn't want to, be close to the flames when you go to hell.
Well, they wouldn't associate with me in a public or social setting.
However.
But, well, first of all, we were 4 per apartments. There were, 2-bedroom apartments, 2 per room. And every one of my roommates wanted to have sex with me. And literally everyone from Morocco all the way to Turkey wanted to have sex with me.
Seriously?
100% swear to, God.
Wow. But they were all the wrong age.
They were the wrong age. They were, obviously, their idea of having sex with me is, them being a top, which was never something I was interested in doing. That was my role. So the whole thing, the whole thing was wrong, other than the satisfaction of knowing that they wanted to. There was nothing else there for me.
So how did you escape the Carolinas?
There is believe it or not, a gay beach in Mirror Beach, South Carolina, and I would go there as much as I can. And over there, I met this gentleman, David, who lives in Hickory, North Carolina. And he was just smitten with me and me with him. And he convinced me to move and be with him in Hickory after I finished my studies. And I did.
Now, could you be there legally, or did you just sneak there?
No, I decided to stay because after tasting that forbidden fruit, there was just no way I would stop.
You can't put the toothpaste back in the tube.
I was the skinny kid in Morocco, which is a dime a dozen and no real interest. And I always felt like the ugly duckling over there.
Right.
Coming to the U.S., looking the way I look and being rather on the skinny side, the tables turned. And that was, kind of thought after. So finding this new, reversal of roles, there was no way I was going back to Morocco.
And I assume he was over 30?
He was 36, and man. I was 21.
All right.
Yeah.
How long did that last?
It lasted for a year.
Okay.
Lasted for a year. It was eye-opening. Oh, that's a story for another time.
Okay. Next phase, then what?
Next phase, after I broke up with him and felt crushed and my life was ending.
Did you leave him or did he leave you?
Oh, I left him.
Okay.
It was not a good situation. Then I was just like, what do I do now? It was like, drowning in a country that I really don't know that well still. And I didn't know what to do. And I had a cousin that I didn't really know in New York City. And, I reached out to him and decided that I would move to New York and he would help me, get situated and find a job and all of that. And 3 months after I moved to New York and stayed with him in Staten Island, 9/11 happened. So here's the Arab, Muslim, undocumented kid in New York during 9/11 era, and that was not a good time to be in.
The plot thickens.
Yes.
So you got out of New York then?
No, I stayed in New York for 13 years. I fell in love with New York. I thought New York was the coolest, and I still do, best place for anyone to live. And I really think you're lucky if you get to spend any amount of time in New York. But I pushed through it and was in New York for 13 years and met my husband in New York and, best years of my life.
When did you meet him?
I met him in 2003.
What's his first name?
His name is Lee.
Lee, okay. And you're with him now?
Yes, we are still together. We've been married for over 12 years. We went through, some years of we're together. We're just, hooking up. We're together. We're just hooking up. It was back and forth, but, there was always something special. I don't chase men in general. He was the one man that I chased, and he's just one of those people that is so special. And the first time I saw him, I And not to be overly romantic, I just had that feeling that this man is just special.
Oh, cool. We like to hear those stories.
Yes. When did your
status change as far as being in the country?
So when we got married married in Provincetown, and
of course
gay marriage wasn't federally accepted or recognized.
But it was in Massachusetts, right?
Well,
at that time or not?
You could get married, but it really didn't have any merits because
no weight to it. Yeah.
No weight to it. Yeah. No legal protection or anything. But we got married because we wanted to get married. We wanted to have that between us. Then years after that is when gay marriage became a federally recognized as regular marriages. So at that point, I have gone through a multitude of lawyers, and I exhausted many avenues trying to get my status, to be a legal resident or have a green card, and none of it worked. Then when we moved here to Palm Springs, we decided to give it another try. I found the most amazing lawyer, and he really listened and found the best way to proceed. And a couple of years after that, I had my green card, which led to me becoming a citizen.
Yay.
Yes. Think of angels. Oh. That guy literally was an angel. And changed my life. There are certain points of your life that you look upon and you wonder how lucky you were. Meeting my husband was one of them. Coming to the U.S. was one of them.
And meeting me and being on the podcast is another one.
I feel like a celebrity getting interviewed.
So you're in Palm Springs. What do you do here?
I'm a server at one of the restaurants here. It's called Copley's. I've been there for 3 years. Absolutely love the place. Love everyone I work with. It's a great staff.
Wait a minute. So you started during COVID then?
Right after COVID.
Oh, okay.
Before that, my husband works in LA, so he was going back and forth to LA, and that really wasn't an ideal situation for both of us. So we decided to both move to LA. We spent 6 years in LA, and we decided it was a good opportunity for me to buy a restaurant. So we bought a restaurant together in downtown LA and worked really hard to turn it into a success. And just as it was, becoming a recognized name in downtown LA, COVID hit. Oof. And literally all that hard work went up in smoke. Wow. It brought us back to Palm Springs, where we're the happiest.
Wow.
LA was just a necessity. No offense to anyone in LA, but we did not like LA at all. So back to Palm Springs, and we are very happy and content to be here.
So curious, did you get that memo that said 95% of restaurants fail?
I did, but I have been in the restaurant business my entire life.
Right, so you could overcome it.
The culinary management school and culinary school, and not to boast or anything, but I took over a restaurant that was doing fine, and with a ton of hard work and knowledge, turned it into a name. Like, that place was doing so well.
But you just couldn't hold on with. Did they actually shut the restaurants down in LA or not?
I had to. There was no.
People didn't want to go out.
Well,
or if they did,
it was downtown LA, and I didn't have an outside space to have tables outside. And downtown LA after COVID, it was always bad. There was a lot of homelessness and crime, and after COVID, it just became over the top. It was really, really not a good place to be. And back then, nobody knew what was going on. Oh, we'll reopen in 2 weeks. We'll reopen in a month. And they keep dangling that carrot.
Isn't that funny looking back? Well, this will only last 3 weeks.
And
2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks.
Yeah, stay at home for 2 weeks and it will pass.
It's all over.
And then like we kept trying for almost a year, and we were just getting deeper and deeper in that hole. So you have to just stop and decide if you want to just go down with the ship or abandon it.
So was it ethnic food or what were you serving there? What was the main thing?
So the idea was, like the novel Jules Verne, 80 Days Around the World. So it had this steampunk kind of feel to it. And the idea is you're in a hot air balloon, and wherever you land, you taste the traditional meal from wherever you landed.
So you changed the menu?
So the menu changed a lot, and it was farm to table, and it was just a little bit of everything, and try to stay really authentic to whatever dish I am preparing. And there was a speakeasy kind of upstairs to it, which I turned into an event space.
Cool.
Downtown LA was really not that gay, so I had queer comedy nights, and I had gamers, which was my biggest event. That's gamers with a Y.
Right.
Gay men who like video games and board games. That event was so popular. I had paint nights, which was, a cool thing because we had some, let's say, almost naked models that you get to paint. I had so many gay events, and it really was doing so well. Nobody expected the pandemic, so.
Right. Have you thought of doing that in public?
Absolutely not.
No?
I don't know with that.
It's like me with my real estate and company I had in Seattle. No.
Been there, done that. Got the T-shirts. Will not do it again.
Wow.
I love what I do. When I go home at night, I don't have to think about who's going to show up, who's sick, what's going to happen. I do not bring stress with me home. I would not do that again to myself. So.
Wow. So I assume you're not out to your family who's still back there, right?
The only person I really concerned about is my mother. I don't think she knows what that is, being gay. She had 11 kids. That's the only thing she knows.
And your father is not in the picture anymore? Or...
No, he passed away a few years ago.
Okay.
She doesn't understand anything outside of that box. She doesn't understand how I am 47 and still don't have any kids, because that was her life. So other than my mother, and I really don't care who knows or who doesn't, I'm out to some of my nephews and nieces, but I'm going to wait. God give her long life, but once she's not in the picture, once she's not with us anymore, then I really don't care who knows and who doesn't.
And you're not planning on going back to visit, right?
Oh, I go back every 2 years.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
How does that work if you're gay here and you go back there? Is there any danger in that or not?
No. Although it's against the law, people do what they want, especially now with the internet and, the hookup apps and all of that.
They have that there?
Oh, absolutely. Wow. You just have to be careful. Obviously, no PDA, although it's okay for men to hold hands in Morocco. But you just have to be careful. It's becoming more okay these days.
But legally, it's
still against the law, and it's still against the religion. It's getting better slowly, not as fast as I would like it.
Right.
But it is definitely getting better. So, when I go there, I go for a couple of weeks max, and it's barely enough to visit my family.
And obviously you don't take Lee with you.
He hasn't been there yet because he does not want me to introduce him to my mother as a friend. But we are planning to go soon, just the two of us. And I respect I respect that. I respect that he doesn't want me to have to lie to my mother about him. But yeah, some of my nephews and nieces know, and other than that, other than my mom, I really don't care who knows and who doesn't. So
Okay.
I'm not particularly close to any of my brothers. I'm the 10th child, so most of them are quite older than me. So
what kind of an age span is between the oldest one and you, or the youngest one?
Well,
how many years?
The oldest is 63. I'm 47, and I have a brother who's 3 years younger.
Wow.
Mhm.
So almost 20 years of childbearing.
Yeah. Which,
Wow.
sometimes I wonder if that's why. Well, sometimes I wonder if that's why I've always been attracted to younger men, because I see my brothers who are older than me as my equals, because we're all brothers. So, if he's 30 and I'm 15, we're still brothers. Right. I don't know. I'm reaching for straws to explain why I'm just always attracted to older men.
Wait, you just said you were attracted to younger men. You just said.
No, older. If I'm 15 and he's 30, then he's my equal.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
All right. Interesting story.
Yeah.
I hope this reaches some people that need to hear it.
Well, especially for people who are in places like Morocco or, anywhere in the Middle East or anywhere where they feel that they don't have a choice and they have to suppress who they are and conform to that life of getting married and having kids and still doing what you have to do on the side. That there is hope, there is another option, and hopefully you can choose your own path. And if you don't, that's okay too. I'm not going to, exactly, or just because I did it, you can do it. I don't like that. I have my own circumstances, and you go through your own journey. So, yeah.
So at this point, I always ask my guest, what have you learned in your life? What do you live by? Any mottos, any things that guide you?
If only I could tell my younger self to believe in himself more. That's the one thing. I have always felt that I wasn't good enough. I didn't know enough. I need to, be careful and don't do things that I'm afraid of doing. And if I could just change that and have more trust in my life, I'm happy with where I'm at, but I'm sure I would have been in a better place. So, yeah, just trust.
Well, we all have woulda, coulda, shouldas.
Yes, But yeah, that's the one thing. But I regret nothing. I love my life. I love where I am at my age, and I'm very happy with where I am.
Well, we're happy to hear it.
Well, thank you.
Thanks for coming in.
Absolutely.
Okay, it was great.